you and your client have identified an issue that could get them screened out, it is so tempting to jump right into problem-solving mode and start creating solutions. I want to recommend a second step that is something other than that. Step 2 is to get some perspective. Before we start creating solutions, stop and get the perspective of the two most important parties in this employment saga. Who are they? Think about it. Who's on the list? Who's not on the list? The employer's perspective is incredibly important. Why is it a problem for them? Why are they willing to lose out on this person's talent because of it? How does it possibly negatively impact their bottom line? Get the employer's perspective. Secondly, the job-seeking individual's perspective. If they think no one's going to hire them because of that, or they shouldn't have to explain it, that's where your solution starts. So start by getting the perspective of the potential employers and the individual job seeker. Who's not on the list? We're not on the list. Our perspective on an issue is really not helpful. It's really not relevant unless it does one or both of the following. If our take on the matter echoes the employer's perspective or empathizes with the candidate's perspective, it can be very helpful. Our personal opinion is not. But if we can stand in the gap and shed some light for the candidate about the employer's possible perspective and help them see that and lessen the blind spot, that can be helpful. If we can come alongside in partnership with the individual and really understand their take on it and start from there, it builds trust and credibility and solutions that the client is willing to use. So step 1, identify the barrier. Step 2, get some perspective before you start creating solutions. If you identify an issue and jump to creating solutions, which is not only tempting but very common, many of our clients don't have a long time to make this process work. And after all, it's part of our job to help them move forward. But if we identify an issue and then jump directly into creating solutions without wandering through the perspective of the employer and the candidate, we run the risk of creating solutions that the employer doesn't buy. They don't believe, it doesn't really reduce their concern. And that doesn't go far enough. A solution that doesn't work for the employer doesn't work. And frankly, neither will the candidate. If we identify an issue and start creating solutions because we know best, but we don't really take a look at the candidate's perspective, we run the risk of creating solutions for them, near them, on their behalf, but not with them. And if you've ever had this experience, I know I have, we've created solutions that our clients never implemented, resources they never accessed, mind shifts they never made, good explanations they never shared because they didn't think they should have to, or they didn't think it would make a difference. So you've got to get the perspective of the employer and the candidate. Real quickly, there's 4 different ways a candidate is likely to feel about an issue. And you may have 4 clients who all face the exact same barrier and they have a different perspective on it. So you cannot assume if someone has a criminal conviction that they're overwhelmed by it. Or if someone is on the older side, they think this is great because they bring extra experience. So one is the candidate is not aware that the issue is occurring or having a negative impact. A second option is they're aware of it, but they think it's the employer's problem, not theirs. The third possibility is they feel overwhelmed by it. They feel like it can't be overcome. And a fourth option is that they are aware of it, but they feel like it can be overcome. That's a good place to start. If they're unaware, we can help them become aware so they can create a solution. If they are aware of it but think it's the employer's problem, not theirs, if they want the job or the opportunity, it's also their problem. So help them see things from the employer's perspective, take their part in it, and create a solution that moves them forward. If they're feeling like it can't be overcome, one of my favorite ways to address that is to stop talking and to find them someone to talk to who's been through the situation. If they have a major criminal conviction and you don't, have them talk to somebody who has had that situation, overcome it, and is working and leading and thriving. They can say in a few minutes what you couldn't say in days or weeks or months. If they feel like they're too old and you're not very old, have them talk to somebody who reinvented themselves in their 50s, 60s, 70s. They're more credible. And of course, if they feel like it can be overcome, that's a great place to start, and you can move on to step 3.